this July the 9th, 2026. I apologize for a little late. We was trying to get Supervisor Thomason added to the meeting via call in. But we'll let them go ahead and work that. And then since there is so many people here, we'll go ahead and get started. Good to see so many people in attendance tonight and taking part of our county government. And also, we're greatly honored to have the Hall family with us and also the officials and personnel with Department of Corrections. We're very honored to have you with us. At this time, if everyone would please stand for the invocation of the pledge. Heavenly Father, we are indeed grateful to be here conducting business for the county tonight. Dear Heavenly Father, we just pray for your guidance and good thought and help us with the stewardship of our community. We thank you so much for the independence and the freedoms that we celebrated this past Saturday on July the 4th. Father, we just thank you for those and realize that they come with great sacrifice, and we appreciate and honor those who gave their lives and have given their commitment to the cause of freedom. And in all things, Father, we will give you praise and glory. Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You may be seated. We'd like to remind everyone of the decorum, which is on the back of the bottom on the agenda. Main thing being with that, if you can keep your cell phones on, just please, if you will, silence those so we don't have any interruptions while people are speaking. This time, the chair would entertain a motion to adopt the agenda and the consent agenda with the addition.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion to amend the agenda and add under new business to consider a resolution requesting a referendum on local general retail sales tax for school capital projects.
Okay, do I have a second? Second. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Chair also aye. First item on the agenda is a public hearing. This is a public hearing to receive comments to consider a zoning map amendment application to rezone a 1.421 acre portion of tax map number 77-A-27B from rural farm zone district to commercial zone district to allow for the operation and establishment of a livestock haul-in facility, advertisement for veterinary services. With staff, we have Jada.
Good evening, Mr. Chair, board members. I'm sure you've at this point had some time to take a look at the application. Applicant is Miss Mary Tomlinson of Crest Haven Veterinary Services. Again, the request was rezone approximately 1.421 acres of a 21.416 acre parcel from rural farm to commercial to establish and operate a livestock hauling facility for veterinary services. The location will be off of Greenwich Road in Galax, and the tax map number is 77-A-27B. It'll be a portion of that 21.416 acres. It's located in the Old Town District. Currently, it is zoned rural farm, surrounded on all sides by rural farm, and its nearest commercial parcel is approximately 1.6 miles northwest. The Planning Commission did recommend approval at the June 16, 2026 public hearing, and a recommendation letter was sent to the board stating such. So a little bit of information about the project. Ms. Tomlinson has proposed a facility, which is brick and mortar livestock building, where animal owners will bring or haul livestock in by trailer for veterinarian treatment, rather than veterinarian traveling to the farm. This model offers a controlled professional workspace that is often safer and more efficient than treatment in an open pasture or barn. Facility would be regulated under Title 54.1, Chapter 38 of the Code of Virginia and Virginia Board of Veterinary Medicine Regulation 18 VAC 150-20, including physical requirements for sanitation, dedicated surgery space, and proper disposal. As part of the Planning Commission's responsibility, it is to make sure that the application conforms to the comprehensive plan. So during the review, these three factors are prudent to the comprehensive plan. So the comprehensive plan currently was adopted in December of 2024, and it identifies that agriculture is leading economic sector. We have 35,470 cattle and calves countywide. Mind you, that was 22-23 data. We ranked number 7 in Virginia for cattle inventory, and more than 76 million in agricultural goods are sold annually out of Grayson County. The clinic would serve the applicant's own dairy herd, in addition to the neighboring dairy operations, beef cattle producers, sheep, goat, and other livestock owners countywide. Staff found that the request was consistent with the adopted goal to preserve, protect, and enhance agricultural areas to promote the rural lifestyles, farmland, and agricultural enterprises. It preserves the rural character. The parcel is part of a 677.697 acre dairy operation, and it's surrounded by land under common ownership. The substantial adjoining acreage is protected by conservation easement, limiting the likelihood of future non-agricultural or incompatible commercial expansion. Surrounding land is protected from subdivision with no foreseeable strict commercial pattern. The long-term agricultural landscape and developable farmland remain intact. So my findings were compatible, that the request does not affect nearby properties. The proposed use aligns with the current surrounding agricultural activity. The environmental impact is little to none. There is none that is anticipated beyond the normal site development controls. Traffic and access is very low. It's a low intensity use in traffic to be expected. It would be mainly scheduled appointments, farm trucks, trailers, occasional use of existing private road, and VDOT indicated that there would be no work in the VDOT's right-of-way, therefore no land use permit was required. Under the legal and regulatory statutes, the rezoning is supportable under Virginia Zoning Authority promoting health, safety, and general welfare through expanded agricultural veterinarian services. The owner's on-site residence supports direct operational oversight and reduces the likelihood of nuisance impacts. Public input and recommendation, notice was sent out to the adjoining property owners, which was basically Cresthaven Farms. They own all the property surrounding this, so it's contiguous with the parcel that she wants to rezone. And the property owner's notice was sent by certified under 15.22204 of the Code of Virginia, and it was also advertised in the newspaper. Planning Commission took the recommendation from staff that the approval of application 20260037, rezoning approximately 1.421 acres from rural farm to commercial. Does the board have any questions for me?
Okay, thank you. At this time, entertain a motion to go into public hearing.
So moved.
Okay, do I have a second, sir? All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Chair also aye. Let's see if we can register speakers. Okay. Hearing that there is no one signed up to speak, Chair, at this time, entertain a motion to come out of public hearing.
So moved.
Do I have a second? Second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Chair also aye. This time, the chair entertain any motions related to the proposal.
I move to adopt the, I think we have a resolution here, is that right, Chairman?
Check here.
No, not yet. Okay. I move to accept the planning and zoning committee's recommendations to allow Dr. Thompson to move forward with the project.
I have a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
I have a second. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. All in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye.
Abstain.
Okay, all right.
Thank you.
All right, we have Mary with us now. Okay. Good to have you, Dr. Thompson.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, next, under reports, presentations, or request, we have Jeremy Hall Bridge sign. Mr. Boyer? Got a full house here tonight.
So, I went and met with the corrections officials at River North after this took place, and certainly we want to do anything we could to honor Jeremy's memory. You don't know, about 150 officers, agents killed in line of duty in the United States every year. This unfortunately happened in our community. I thought I was done with that when I left law enforcement when I came here, but unfortunately we had this tragedy take place here. And so we just felt like if there's something, I met with the staff, they wanted to, they asked if we could name a bridge in his honor. I certainly said yes. Worked with VDOT, and we got a bridge name in his honor. And so we just wanted to make sure that his memory lasts. Because not all the people can have something to look at, and memory serves to our community. So I think I'll say anything on this.
So I'm Warden Martin Brown at River North Correctional Center. So what I'll say is that, of course, our condolences, thoughts, and prayers continue to go out to the whole family and the community here in Grayson County. And we really appreciate Grayson County's hard work, in getting this memorial done. It's going to be a great memorial. People will see for years to come. So we really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you to Grayson County Board of Supervisors. I'm really involved in making this possible tonight, and I really took the time to be here. It means more than we as a family can put into words. When Jeremy put his uniform on, he wasn't looking for recognition. He wasn't looking for his name on a bridge. He simply believed in serving others. He believed in showing up, doing hard work, and taking care of the people around him. That's just who he was. Most people knew Jeremy as a corrections officer. I knew him as the man who could make me laugh when I needed it most, who loved deeply, who cared fiercely, and who believed that people deserve compassion even on their hardest days. His life was bigger than the way it ended. Losing Jeremy changed my life forever. Grief has a way of reshaping everything, but it also taught me something I never expected. Love doesn't end when someone dies, it changes form. It becomes the story we tell, the lives we touch, the choices we make to honor them. The bridge is more than just concrete. It's a reminder that behind every badge is a human being. Behind every uniform is a family who waits for them to come home. And behind every line of duty death is a community that's forever changed. My hope is that everyone who crosses this bridge remembers not only Jeremy, but also the countless men and women who continue to serve every day, often without recognition, always with sacrifice. Jeremy believed that every person had value, and I hope his legacy reminds us to see one another with a little more compassion, a little more understanding, and a little more gratitude. While nothing can erase the pain of losing him, knowing his name will live on here in Grayson County, where he's from, means that future generations may ask, who is Jeremy Hall? And then they'll hear about a man who served with honor, loved his family, and gave everything in the line of duty. For that, I'm deeply grateful. Thank you for remembering him. Thank you for honoring him. And thank you for making sure that Jeremy's story and the sacrifices made by all of the corrections professionals everywhere will never be forgotten.
VDOT made these memorial drives, obviously, we want to stay alongside the highway. So, try to do this. We have these memorial drives. This is a record, we'll take pictures. I'll just say, thank you. She is overwhelmingly supportive of men and women who serve, and wants things better for them. For that correction facility, she wants things for us all around.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Porter. Bring us to under reports presentations, presentation by Tracy Clement, Tourism Economic Development Director, Impact Grant. Good to have you with us.
It's good to be here. Thank you, Board of Supervisors, for having me to share some good news tonight. Waiting for him to get it all the way up. We were awarded a little more than $1.5 million from the Wellspring Foundation. To the best of my knowledge, that's the largest outdoor recreation grant that Grayson County has ever received. And that money will be spread out over the next 2 years. We are already in the process of procurement, getting estimates to try to be good stewards of this money and stretch it as far as we can. And we hope to begin construction by the end of the year. So, Christian, can you get that on the full screen so they can see a little better? Tell you just a little bit about Wellspring and who they are. They serve 4 counties: Russell, Washington, Smith, and Grayson. And they have 5 areas of interest that you can see there: health initiatives, children and families, workforce development, education, and economic development. We believe that our grant proposal hit all 5 of these areas of interest of Wellspring. Just for your knowledge, this money is grant money must be used for these initiatives. For example, we can't redirect any of it and go back and say, hey, we need a roof on the administrative building, so we're going to use some of this money for that, or we need to pave a parking lot. Thank you. Perfect. And so we'll use it, we have to use it for these initiatives for which it was intended and for which it was written. And I'll just talk to you very briefly about the process that we went through. First, we were approached by Wellspring. They wanted to spend some money in Grayson County. So we scoped out different community centers and local government business facilities throughout the county. They restricted their funding to local government properties or 501c3s. So that's what we were limited to and what we had to look at when we began to look at these. We began by creating an outdoor wellness survey, and we put that out. We went to various meetings and gave those out. We put them online. We got 264 usable responses. And by usable, I mean there were a lot of people who, much more than that, who would begin the survey, but they didn't finish it. And so it only counted if they finished the entire survey. But that was a pretty good turnout. We did these meetings at Elk Creek, Flat Ridge, Troutdale, and White Top. We met with Grayson County's Recreation Board. Then we came back together when we had time to compile all these surveys and get the results together. And those were what we used to make our request to Wellspring. From those, we created a budget, reached out to various vendors, and figured an estimate of what this project was going to cost and submitted a grant application. And lo and behold, we got it. So I wanted to talk to you about in-kind contributions just a little bit and explain what in-kind contributions are exactly. This particular Wellspring grant did not require a match, but it did strengthen our application, because when you show that you're willing to invest in the initiative, then they're more than happy to come back and give you more money for that. Most grants do require some type of match. Sometimes it's a cash match. Sometimes it's an in-kind match. So we used only in-kind match for this particular grant. And what that means is these are things that we don't have to write checks for, so to speak. We can use money that we would have spent regardless, or money that we got in other sources. And so you can see there, I won't read all those to you, but we had some other grants that came from the Virginia Outdoors Foundation or came from another Wellspring grant. And we were able to use those. And some of them were grants that those community centers got that we didn't even get here in the county. It could be capital improvements that the county made. Volunteer hours count as in kind. So it doesn't really cost us anything, but it counts as money in the long run. So you can see that the second from the last bullet, we had about almost $350,000 in kind match. So we didn't come up with that money, but it counted as though we had. Okay. Now, the next, let me see if I can see where I point this at. Got it. Our partners, of course, it was us. Parks and Rec partnered with us. We partnered with the town of Troutdale, the Flat Ridge Community Center, the White Top Community Center, the Elk Creek Volunteer Fire Department, and the Grayson Rec Board. When you see the projects that we do, this will be a 2-year project, so it won't all happen at one time. Y1 happens year 1, Y2 happens year 2. Before I go into each project, I will tell you the percent of that 1.5 million that each project gets. The rec park takes about 18% or to 22% for their projects, and I'll show you in just a minute what those are. Flat Ridge gets 38% of the 1.5. The Grayson gravel route gets 1%. White Top gets 5%. Troutdale will get 7%. Elk Creek will get 9%. Mount Rogers, the old school, gets 1%. We have a contingency built in because, as you well know, things happen and prices go up. If we can get lucky enough and they don't go up, we may have some extra cash at the end of this that we can invest. but we have about a 9% contingency in case we need it. And then project administration is in the neighborhood of 10%. And that's somebody to all of this construction and the grant reporting as well. So here are our projects. And you can see on there what years those things will be completed. There will be new pickleball courts built at the rec park, electrical work, some lighting put around them, resurfacing of the existing pickleball court. So a lot of pickleball going on up there. A new pavilion will be built over at Powerhouse Falls. Playground equipment improvements will be made up there. And then we will add some outdoor adult fitness equipment to our rec park. Flat Ridge Community Center. And I don't know if you all know this, some of you do, they were just added to the Crooked Road, which is quite a distinction. And because of that, we felt like they needed a good pavilion. That's why they're getting a good chunk of change right here. They're going to get a pavilion. It's going to have stage on one side and outdoor seating space in the middle, and a stage and outdoor kitchen. They have about 1,000 people that come up there for the 4th of July. So an outdoor kitchen. They're going to get a new playground, outdoor adult fitness equipment, and a lot of electrical work going on up there at Flat Ridge. Their electrical panel was not up to code to handle a new pavilion, so that whole thing will have to be replaced. Troutdale, and some of you may know, Troutdale has received already from another Wellspring grant some playground equipment, demolition of their old equipment that was unsafe, and some new has already been put in. So they'll get some more playground equipment and surfacing. They need some electrical lighting up there, outdoor adult fitness equipment, and then their blacktop will be replaced. Yeah. Mount Rogers School, some playground repairs. They have some broken equipment up there and some electrical work, some lighting. Whitetop Community Center, some more electrical work there, some lighting that they had requested, adult outdoor fitness equipment, some shaded seating structures up there, and a playground upgrade. They do have a playground, but it's mainly for younger children. The pieces that we'll put in is for older, larger kids. Elk Creek, adult outdoor fitness equipment, a shaded seating structure. It's kind of like got a canopy over it, picnic tables. They're getting a new playground. And about 1,000 square foot walking track, Jada, about 10,000 square feet. I made sure we didn't go over 10,000 square feet so I didn't get in trouble with Jada there. So that's about half a mile. So if you ever go up to Mount Rogers, about the size of that one. And they'll decide where that goes. Some miscellaneous things, Grayson Gravel Traverse bike repair stations. Will be put along that, and I just got some news yesterday. We were going to put one at the Whitetop Depot. The National Forest Service is going to put one there instead, so we'll save a little money there that we can use somewhere else. And then there's some other places that we'll be putting those stations. That's up and coming. This will just be somewhere that people who are coming, they'll have the tools there to be able to fix it. Management is included for both years in this project. Okay, and picture's worth 1,000 words. So this is not set in stone. We will probably buy all our playground equipment in bulk. It's cheaper to buy all of it alike, so it'll pretty much be the same. And that's kind of what it'll look like. That's one possibility. And there's an alternate. And you can see in that corner kind of what the playground seating shaded structure looks like. Outdoor fitness equipment for adults. Look at some things like this. And there is a rough sketch of what we anticipate the Flat Ridge Pavilion to look like. See, they can put chairs, picnic tables, yeah, pickleball courts. And that's all I have. If you have any questions, I'll do my best to answer them.
This money's already here, and it's already been implemented. It's some process now of getting this stuff done.
We don't have it yet. It's gonna be divvied up and we'll get it in halves.
Okay,
And as we need it,
as,
there will be drawdowns.
but we are guaranteed this money over the 2 years, and that's starting, say, now and moving through 2 years to get all this done.
Correct,
Okay, just want to clarify that.
correct.
Get the work done, contracted work, we pay for it, they pay us back, so that's how.
Gotcha.
Usually,
In the planning phases now.
yes.
Thank you.
Any other questions?
I just want to say, I'm so grateful and thankful you working with Wellspring to make this happen. It's really good.
Yes.
Yes.
But very nice. It goes with, I know that we wanted to see recreation extend around the county rather than just centered here in Independence. And this kind of helps get that done. That's awesome.
Wellspring is a wonderful foundation. I have only good things to say about them, and we're very pleased with what they've done.
I'm gonna sneak one in on you. It's kind of unrelated, but I know the flow meters and the at the little stations at the boat landings is. I went down there the other day on a little run, and I seen you had the poles and everything back up, but.
You want a little update real quick? Impromptu?
Yeah.
So, we did receive some funding from the Virginia Tobacco Commission, some matching funds. I go back to that matching term that came from Friends of Southwest Virginia and Virginia Tourism Corporation. And we are starting that rebuild. We lost all of them but one in Helene. And the rebuild, I hope the hotspots will be up by the end of the month. That's what we're shooting for.
Great.
Any other questions that I can try to answer? And I did forget to mention to you that we are in the process of meeting with each one of these communities, 501c3s, to make sure they're good with what we're going to do. For example, we don't want to go in and put in a splash pad up at Elk Creek and then tell them they've got to maintain it. So we'll make sure that each one is happy with what we're going to give to them. Okay? All right.
Everybody else?
Tracy, very good.
Thank you very much.
Great.
It was a pleasure.
Thank you.
This time brings us to, there appears to be no registered speakers. And we have public comment time. I would ask everybody to limit your comments to 3 minutes. And then when you come up, state your name and your address. Okay. First speaker, Steve. Baby.
Hi, I am Beppy Kafka, 1785 Sugar Camp Lane, Independence. And I'm here about data centers. And personally, my biggest concern is the electromagnetic effects. Insects, plants, birds, they live their lives, they navigate, they communicate, they reproduce by these micro voltages. And a huge man-made source of that is a huge stressor for our world. They say these things are shielded, but who says they're shielded? The company that stands to make a profit from it which is a corporation whose only mandate is to make money for shareholders or our government. Yeah, right. At Tufts University, they've done some research into this field. And for instance, they've got a way now to actually print electromagnetic voltages in very minute amounts. And they're looking at tadpoles. And before a tadpole is anything but a few cells, they can print that it already has a face in the field, in the ether. And this is science, this is a fact. And we have no right to mess with these things. You know, we do it to our own detriment, because there is really no way humans can live without the natural world. My second, I'll get as far through my list as I can. My second concern is surveillance. And I think if we, the people, really felt like the surveillance these data centers are going to do was for our good, we'd be behind them. I personally, because of the work I do, have not really felt safe in the last 5 years. You know, there's things in our county that there's more than the eye can behold, put it that way. And so I would love surveillance that would keep me safe. However, I don't think anyone here really believes that these flock cameras and the data centers are for our benefit. They're for our control. And you know, we trust that you guys are working very hard to represent our interests. But above that, the social contract is broken.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Next time.
All right, Candace Stevenson.
Candace Stevenson, I'm at 615 Hines Branch Road in Elk Creek. I just want to speak on the data centers issue. I don't think any one of us are prepared to bring another industry in here that we don't have much control over. And a lot of things that we can't see going on here are not controlled as it is. We have pesticide runoff in our water, contaminated water everywhere. And I think the last thing that we need is to add an additional burden to our natural resources. We don't need any extra water to be giving up billions of gallons per day, or even if it's a closed loop system, how are they treating that? And what's the source? If it's really as good as it sounds, where is the example of it being done? So I just don't want a company to come in here and be like, oh, we're gonna do these things, but we haven't seen that being done anywhere else. It's causing strain on the environment everywhere. And we don't need any more of that here in Grayson County. And like Becky said, we don't need any flock cameras. We have enough surveillance going on. Our phones are tracked, and there's surveillance cameras on businesses, and that should stay that way. People that need to feel protected can put up cameras, but to have a camera monitoring you every day and all that data being stored in these centers is a waste. It's very inefficient, and I don't think it's being put to. And again, just please really do anything y'all can to add something for our zoning and an ordinance that would prevent a data center from coming in here. We don't want the low frequency noises, everything. Sometimes they have backup generators and they have to just sit there and run them to keep them, working. We don't need that added stress here. We are protectors of nature. And I hope we can put a clause in our ordinance that has something about protectors of nature and how important it is that if any corporation is doing something that's not protecting our natural resources, we can do something about it. And that's all I have. Thanks.
Next, Pam Carpenter.
morning. I'm Pam Carpenter. I live in Grayson County. To any data center in Grayson County. The position of the board at this time. Economic development, it is industrial extraction dressed up as technology. First, in other areas, we have had elected officials who have signed NDAs with corporations. And I implore you, all of you, not to do such a thing. Protecting the corporations from the citizens who live with the consequences of your decisions when we elected you is not okay. We pay the bills with our taxes, our water, our electric rates, our roads, our emergency services, our property values, our health, and most of all, the future of this county. If any project requires secrecy and closed door decisions, it simply doesn't belong here. The board should also be advised to just remember Gigabee. We have already lived through big promises about technology, connectivity, and rural economic benefit from people. We paid for those decisions and they didn't deliver as advertised. I beg you not to make the same hasty, expensive mistake again, and certainly not one on this scale. Gigabee was not ever physically dangerous to any citizen in this county. Data centers are not clean computer buildings. They come with high voltage transmission, substations, transformers, EMF, and extremely low frequency magnetic fields, diesel backup generators, just a ton of stuff that contribute to air pollution, water pollution, vibration, noise, and diesel exhaust and other air pollutants that are expelled from these centers are known carcinogens and are listed as such by every major health organization in the world. There's also a risk of asthma, COPD, heart disease, stroke risk, and other respiratory illnesses. Children particularly are susceptible, the elderly are susceptible. It's not okay for our citizens at any age to become collateral damage. And we don't need to wait for a cancer cluster before taking action. Those types of things are discovered after people get sick. There is not enough information to know what the long-term effects are. The water risk is probably my most serious. We already have PFAs in water, which are forever chemicals. You can't boil them out, you can't filter them out. Only a reverse osmosis system is going to remove those. Those chemicals, the PFAs, were not showing up in our water test just 3 years ago. It's not okay. Inviting an industry here that would add more chemical burden with no long-term benefit to the county is just unacceptable, because the jobs promise is going to be overinflated. During the construction phase, which lasts about 18 months, there will be construction jobs.
Thank you. Vicky? Vicky Hostler?
That's you, that one.
Vicky Oxford.
Okay. Like, is it Glenn?
Holly.
Told you I butchered it.
You can put us, it's Glennis Holly, I live here in Grayson. I am here to speak about the data centers. I had something prepared, and I'm changing it up after listening to tonight's meeting. Tonight's meeting, y'all approved, hopefully to go ahead for Ms. Tomlinson. They talked about the livestock, the animals, how much of this area is rural and farm, all nature. You talked about tourism, the rec centers and everything. All of that centers around nature, farms, and what this area is and what the people are. On the final note, if everybody would just turn around and look at the Grayson County seal, it states protector of nature. If you can, in good heart and good conscience, approve a data center with that as being our seal, we got the wrong people on the board. Thank you.
Sherry, no?
Stop.
Okay.
Are you ready?
I just wanted to thank the Board of Supervisors. I'm here on our pickleball group that play at Grayson County Park. My name's Sharon Osborne Stoff. I grew up in Independence and I graduated from Independence High School. Judy Greer and I are leaders on the Grayson County Team Reach app and pickleball play. I am probably the biggest leader for this new rec park and the new courts. When I retired in 2020, I had moved away from Independence for 39 years. When I moved back, I had always told my mom that I was never coming back to this little town. We'll never say never. So now I love this little town. I believe it's my passion and purpose to get as many people involved in activity, exercise, and I think pickleball is a great way to do that. Right now, we have at least 70 people that live in Grayson County, Allegheny County, Carroll County, that come to our little courts and play. This is the only active sport other than swimming to be offered for seniors in Grayson County. Now on to the purpose of this. My overall purpose is our concerns with our courts now. We have requested since fall of 2025 that the cracks be caulked, not resurfaced now. We're just talking about get them caulked. This is a danger as pickleball requires side-to-side movement and sudden changes in direction. One lady has already fallen. The pictures passed around, I'm sure you just saw, are of the cracks and how the layer is peeling off on some of the courts now. We've gotten excuses of hot, warm, not warm enough weather, too wet or raining, and not enough help when we ask about the cracks. Second issue is we have a lot of mold and mildew on the courts. It's very, very slick when even the slightly damp. We have requested many times to have only those areas pressure washed and cleaned. 2 of our members came back one evening and tried to clean them themselves with Clorox. Pressure washing and Clorox is an easy solution. 2 people have fallen in these slick spots because of that. All we ask is for maintenance to be upkept. Trash on the courts. It seems like trash is never picked up except by pickleball players. Last Friday, we were so excited when we got to pickleball. The courts were spotless. And we thought, oh good, they finally cleaned them. Well, guess what? That was for the cornhole that night for the 3rd of July party. They've set up cornhole everywhere. So one incident recently happened with a plastic bottle being on the court and it rolled into the court while someone was playing. They tossed it back outside because the lawn care was there. That person tossed the bottle back into the court while active play. Why? We have requested new nets many times. Keith has told us if the kids destroy the nets, Grayson County will get new ones. Luckily for us, our talented soul lady has
CJ?
That's me.
Okay, CJ.
After I retired, my writing went completely bad. I'm Chris Bowen. I'm over on Nile Road, Allegheny County. Hello, board members. I'm one of the 70 pickleball players that come into town with my wife 3 times a week. Competition, great exercise, great cardio, and come out and play sometime. Our concern is the excellent news about the grant, but it's a sense of urgency of getting this done. The cracks are bad. And if we can caulk them and at least, do a Band-Aid until we get serious about rebuilding them or building the new ones, then let's try to get moving on this because there's a lot of people playing a lot of hours. So what we would like to request is please let us get involved with our ideas, energy, and time to help the folks get the new courts built right, get the old courts fixed up so we can use them sooner than later. Okay, that year 2 kind of bothers us on fixing the old courts. So again, pickleball is the fastest growing sport in the United States right now. My job is to basically support what Sharon put forth and what Judy has put forth. We're ready to help Grayson County. This is an excellent opportunity for a really great investment. So again, thank you for your time. Come out, take a look at the courts, guys. Take a look at them and come join us to play, okay? Thank you.
Lisa. Lisa and Dick, okay, that's and.
We're going back.
Okay, all right. Apologize, let's see. Cody? K-O-K-A, Kaden, K, that's a A, okay.
Sorry. Hello, board. My name is Caden, and I live here in Grayson County, Virginia. I'm here to talk about the data centers and like the environmental impacts that they bring, making heat islands, and just making the water. It just affects our water, affects it in negative ways, and I would just like for you guys just to have no data centers if at all possible, because and with the flock safety too being put around, as the women before me were talking about the data centers and the flock safety, I agree with what they have to say. That's about all I've got. Thank you, board.
Candace Dixon.
Hey, thank you all. I lived in Grayson County my whole life, multiple places, Independence, Elk Creek, Mount Wilson. Love it with all my heart. Don't have any plans going anywhere. That being said, a data center has no purpose here. As everybody has spoken before, you know, the environmental impacts that we are seeing and hearing about in other places are not something we want, you know. I think I can speak for everyone when we have concerns, especially in a year like this with this horrible drought we've been in, with how low the river is. You know, Independence and I believe Sparta both get their water out of the river. So what kind of impact are we going to have with a data center that's using billions of gallons of water? You know, and then we've got what it does, like everyone has spoken before, to the animals, you know, the heat islands that are created, the sound, the magnetic fields or whatever they're called that, you know, may arise from those. I think I can speak for most people here, you know, yeah, technology is great in some ways. And yes, most of us use it every day, but there's a lot of people in this county that don't. You know, how many people are blind to this because they're older? I mean, there's a lot of retirement here, you know. Most people here, either they live here their whole life and they retire here, or they leave and go off, you know. But the thing is how many people don't know about this? How many people don't know about the fact that we're even here talking about it tonight, don't know about the impacts that other areas are seeing from this, you know. And as the one lady got cut off because her time ran out, you know, the jobs that it may create once it's built, we're seeing in other areas that those jobs are not outweighing the consequences of the data center itself. And tax revenue, what kind of, like, is it really going to outweigh those costs? Do we really need that? You know, I don't have much else to say about it other than I think most of us can agree. We don't want it here, and we want you guys to do what you can do to please prevent it. You know, Grayson County's founded on tourism, pretty much. You know, like, who wants to come to experience the beautiful Appalachian mountains and see or hear a data center? Nobody wants that. So what kind of impact is that going to have as well on tourism and the funds that aspect brings in to the county? So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Justin Jackson Rickett.
Ricketts. I live on Little Big Corn Lane, Independence. I'm here to talk about data centers. So I read the discussion points in the packet that was available online, and there was a figure of 83% of about as much water as a large. 3% figure comes from a report on Virginia data centers. And the report admits that it doesn't include all of the Virginia data, that there were data constraints. Data centers don't have to disclose how much water they use, and less than a third of data centers actually even track their water usage. The figure also doesn't include indirect water usage from the additional energy generation that is required. The same report found that data centers would dramatically increase energy demand in the state, doubling the current demand over the next decade. Closed loop systems might reduce water usage, but they use more electricity. So to meet this demand, solar, wind, and natural gas plants would all need to be built, and transmission capacity would need to be increased substantially. The report states that meeting even half of this augmented demand would be difficult and would require energy from nuclear technology as well. So that's more land, resources, and local disruption that we don't want. And then the power companies are going to have to recoup the money that they spend building the new facilities, and will likely pass this on to customers, especially if any data centers close or buy energy from other companies, because this leaves a greater percentage of the cost to the utility companies and ultimately to us. It's also simple supply and demand. Greater demand puts a strain on supply, and the power companies raise the rates. So across the United States, power bills went up by an average of 10% between 2024 and 2025. In Northern Virginia, where most data centers are, the power rates were up 25% for fiscal year 2026, so right now. And we're already seeing a squeeze on us and our power bills. We just don't want to see any more. So people mentioned the diesel generators emitting air pollution. And so they're not supposed to, DEQ says you're not supposed to use the generators unless there's an emergency. And most places don't have these emergencies. But here, I feel like I need this power kind of blocked. And so the generators will be run, I think, a lot more than they are in Northern Virginia. Most of the water that goes in evaporates and gets lost. And so we're losing water. They usually plug into municipal water sources, so they're taking our drinking water. And as someone mentioned, we've already seen drought conditions this year. We don't want that to be worse in future years and impact our farmers and tourism in the area. So I'm hoping that you can use whatever power you have to keep them from coming here. Thank you.
Randy Weatherman.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. I'm Randy Weatherman. I live at 1740 Davis Hall Road, and I wrote just a little thing to keep my thoughts straight. The beauty of Grayson County and the people are something special. This land is special. The thought of building a data center to affect the land, animals, and people is heartbreaking. There still needs to be places people can go to that are not took over by technology. Please keep Grayson County untouched by the hand of these data centers. A typical data center uses between 24,000 kilowatts and 2.4 million kilowatts of electricity per day. 24,000 kilowatts is the equivalent to the electricity consumed by 8,000 to 8,200 average American homes combined in a 24-hour period. How would that affect our already high light bills that data centers place an extreme demand to the power grid? Even mid-sized centers consume as much water as a town in a day, while larger ones require millions of gallons a day. How would that affect our area when droughts arise like the one we're in right now? On top of the power strain and water usage, there's also the noise pollution these things cause. The cooling fans and huge backup generators produce a continuous humming and tonal noise that travels for miles from the center. Prolonged exposure to such noise and vibration can disrupt wildlife and cause chronic stress to livestock. Think of all the farmers and hunters and, of course, just folks in general that this would affect. I would hope everyone that lives here would want to conserve and keep this place as natural as possible, not just for us, but for our kids and future generations. They deserve to grow up in a community that cares for the land, the wildlife, the livestock, and most importantly, them. Turning a beautiful place into an industrial zone that disrupts our water, electricity, and our way of life is not the way to go. Thank you for all your time, and I appreciate you.
Natalie Jones.
Hi, I'm Natalie Jones. I live at 255 Midridge Lane in Independence. First of all, I want to say, I think that it's a real disservice to the members of the community that people have had to watch this meeting from elsewhere and are not able to join in a room with others. If you felt like more people were coming, maybe we should have had a bigger room for people so we could really be on live view with all of you and not in a lag. Secondly, I'll say that everything that everybody has said on these data centers are great comments. I don't have anything to add there. The only thing that I will say is that I just want all of you all to think about what is the impact on our community for this at this time at your best ability. We really need to think, what are the long-term implications for a data center on us and our community? And that's it.
Well, it looks like it's all that are signed up to speak. Okay, go ahead, if you will, just give us your name and your address.
My name is Brian. I live on Wilson Highway, right outside of Grayson County. I grew up in Grayson County. I went to Bridle Creek, down Wilson Highway. I went to the Blue Devils. I played football, wrestling, all that good stuff. Everybody had great comments. I maybe have a question. Is there any way y'all could show hands of anybody that supports the data center? Possibly, if anybody does support the data center, just because everything here that's been said today is true. I was gonna come and basically repeat everything that has been said, but the people seem to have done it. So I just come to remind y'all that the power is in the people. Period. I pray and I hope y'all are in the right heart and want what's best for the people. Because if not, the people will find out and the people will get you out of here. The power is in the people. Plain as that. And if y'all plan on putting the data center, y'all will see my face again and I will be there. But like I said, I pray y'all have a good heart and y'all want what's best for the people. Period. And I want to remind the people that, which again, I'm praying y'all are at the right heart, but I want to remind the people that disobedience to tyrants is obedience to God. Okay, so as y'all know, this is a holy place, nature, how God intended it. I moved away from Grayson County for a long time and into the city. Became suicidal because of all the chaos that was going on. I moved it back up here and I healed. And I was able to get away from the nonsense. So that's basically it. That's pretty much it. As far as all the notes, I might have a few notes here. Let's see. So just in case nobody's went over these. Just so you guys know, since y'all are going to be doing the legal side of things, these drive up household utility bills for all these beautiful people here. Period. We already inflation and everybody's struggling and it drives up the bills for everybody. So if you're still a positive data center, you're not positive people. Massive water consumption. A single large data center consumes up to 5 million gallons of drinking water daily, just for cooling. Air pollution, noise and light pollution, killing the land, killing the animals, all of this. Economic and utility issues,
Thank you.
higher utility bills, disproportionate tax.
I appreciate you.
I appreciate y'all as well. And I pray y'all's heart is in the right place. And I would love that this gets handled right. God bless you.
Give me your name and address.
My name is Joseph. I live on Joseph Team Basketball, 112 Hidden Valley Lane, Independence. I think everyone here is making good points about data centers. Of course, I'm here for data center talk as well. Beginning of this meeting, we had listened to somebody trying to get a clinic put in process that they went through to do that. And I would hope that their same level of transparency, I think that's what everybody wants here, would be for allowing a data center to be in this county. I think we saw an example in Wythe County where people felt blindsided by a data center that was brought in without them realizing it was going to be there, without having participation in that. And I think that's the concern that a lot of us have here, is that all of a sudden it's just going to be here and it's going to be too late for everybody to do anything about it. Right now, I think the best course of action is a moratorium on data centers in Grayson County until studies can be done, independent studies about any effects that a data center would have, ecological, obviously utilities, infrastructure isn't here for utilities, we know that. Water, we know what Virginia's going through right now. I think one of the big concerns that happened today was when what was posted on the website is a bunch of statistics that seem to show the benefits of data center. I think Twain probably said it best, there's lies, and lies, and statistics, that's anything can be made to look a certain way. I think any one of those statistics, could be looked at differently, but I think the concern is, why are those on the Board of Supervisors website right now? Is that the feeling that you guys have? I think we want to be assured that that isn't the feeling that you have, that you're looking at all sides of it, essentially, because this is something that, I'm not from this area. I've lived here for 4 years. I came here because of what this beautiful country area is in this area. I would hate to see it not be this way, but once it goes, you'll never get it back. There's so many data centers coming into Virginia. I don't think this is lines with any of it. The lady at the beginning that was trying to get a vet clinic, I think that aligns pretty well with what Grayson is, but I don't think data centers do. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Next one, appears to be no whole business. We'll go to board appointments. On put that down. And I think there's still the one I have for and I do not have anyone to recommend.
Okay. So the other two are for the Grayson County Senior Advocacy Committee, Kate Irwin, Wilson District, and Mary Thompson. Their term, both terms, one term expires 7/13/26, the other one's 8/9/26. They're both willing to serve another term.
You want to go ahead and make a motion to approve those?
Do you need them separately or together? Okay. I move to appoint Kate Irwin and Dr. Thomason to the Senior Advocacy Committee for a 2-year term.
Do I have a second? Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye.
Abstain.
Okay. Thank you. Glad you're still with us.
I'm there.
You scare me overhead, so I don't. Next, we'll go ahead and do the resolution, discussion of the resolution to retail sales tax. Mr. Boyd, you want to
Sales tax.
brief the board on that?
So yes, sir. Under the recently adopted Virginia state budget, the General Assembly expanded a 1% sales tax option. Previously, only 9 specific counties were permitted to levy this tax. Legislation now authorizes all counties and cities to impose an additional 1% local sales tax. All our surrounding counties that I know of have this on the agenda for the board of supervisors to vote on. And so there's a referendum requirement. That means this tax is strictly permissive in nature. Local governments must pass, that is this board, would have to pass a resolution and then secure voter approval via referendum for the tax to take effect. This is dedicated funding. All revenues generated by this targeted 1% increase will be used exclusively for school construction and renovation for capital projects for the schools. It can't be used for previous debt. I know you had that question before. Can you use that for previous debt? The answer is no. The protected items on this, the 1% increase does not apply to food purchase for home consumption and essential personal hygiene products. Those are excluded. Obviously, the cons on this is a 1% sales tax on certain items. The pros, in my brain, it allows us to capture revenue, not just by increasing real estate and property tax on Grayson County residents, but allow us to capture revenue from people that travel and visit inside the county. It provides the school with stable funding to allow capital improvement projects. It allows the citizens to make the decision by voting on it. So you have to vote on the resolution. This would come to the ballot in November. The citizens would say yea or nay. These taxes are equally distributed based on sales. And so that's what the resolution says. The board has to approve the resolution. We're to go on the referendum and November 26th. That allows the board to sign. The board disapproves it. It does not.
Just to clarify, we are not voting on the 1% tax. We are voting to put it on the ballot in November for the people to decide on the 1% tax. Okay. That's for anybody had any questions about it. We're not increasing your taxes. We're asking if you want to increase them on the sales.
Yeah, but this one kind of lets us off to do it. Yeah.
The school and county, we fund them based on acquire local aid. They always need more money to acquire local aid. What this allows us to do is create a little bit of, if the citizens want to say yes to this, they have an option to say yes to this.
And this money collected in the county going back to the county. And do you have any figures on how much this is going to affect that capital improvement fund? You don't know. Okay.
We originally made some estimates until we find out the protected items.
Swag, you don't want the definition of that, but
we had some estimates until we found out this just happened because obviously the General Assembly just came out of session and approved the budget. And we just got the language this week. Otherwise, it would have been on the agenda earlier. So I got it on Monday night or Tuesday night. And so that's why it came on. So we didn't know that 1% does not apply to food purchases for groceries and hygiene products. I don't know. We don't have the data to separate that. Okay.
Supervisor Thomason, if you're still with us, I know this was not on the agenda, and so you didn't have time to prep but I wonder if that might, you might have any questions.
No, thank you. I was informed, and thank you, Sandy, for your clarification for everyone there and our other viewers.
Well, at this time, the chair entertain is there a motion to adopt the resolution to, okay,
second.
okay. Any further discussion on this item? Hearing none, this being a resolution, would you
I vote yes.
Okay.
In the people's hands.
Okay, we'll do a roll call. So, Supervisor Watson?
Yes, I vote for put it in the people's hands.
Okay. Supervisor Cunningham?
Yes.
Supervisor Thompson?
Aye.
And Chair also aye. Next is a resolution to amendment to the holiday schedule.
Yes, sir. The state has changed their schedule for holidays. They approved the holiday schedule. Judge has approved it as well. And so this is allowed for the clerk courts.
Okay. So at this time, Chair entertaining motion to adopt the resolution.
Make a motion to approve the amendment to the local holiday schedule.
Okay, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, this will be a roll call vote with the resolution. Supervisor Martin?
Yes.
Supervisor Kennedy? Supervisor Grayson?
Yes.
Supervisor Thomas?
Aye.
Okay, Chair also aye. Next is Grayson County Public Schools exemption request on expanded polystyrene.
HB 902 bans use of extended polystyrene by food vendors by the Department of Education. This happened in 2021. It became effective in July 2025. The school has had a one-year exception. This is their last year one-year exception. They've asked for this last year exception. Request an exemption from the G ban of extended policy. This will be a one-year exemption beginning July 26th. There's schools that explore and test products that meet the ban. We are not prepared at this time to start using a substitute styrofoam. We have not found a reasonable alternative to the products we're currently using. Cause significant economic hardship for our food service program. As we search for products.
Do I have a motion to grant the exemption request requested by the school system?
So moved.
Do I have a second? Any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
Are there any state?
I'm sorry.
I have one.
Apologize.
Are there any, it's okay, I just have one question. Are there any ramifications from the state for giving them this one-year exemption? Steve?
No.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, anything else?
I have one question. We give them this exemption this year, but this is the last year that they are eligible for that, so they've got to make a decision by this time next year.
Yes,
Okay. Got you. Thank you.
Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any other? Okay, hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Any opposed? Chair also aye. Next, data center discussion.
Yeah, so I guess this is me now. Okay, thanks everybody for coming out. Appreciate your time. Oh, good comment here. Yeah, good comments. Last board meeting, several citizens brought this up. As always, we just welcome everybody's participation and understanding. What I heard from the citizens last meeting was their desire for us to study the issue, provide information, and have open dialogue, which was really the goal today. There's no announcement. There's nothing like that. So it was really just for us to talk back and forth, us to hear you and you to hear us as well. In the board packets on the website, you saw some different data sets in there. I pulled data sets from the state of Kansas. It has truth, facts, fictions. You can go online and look at those data sets. It has anything from black sludge to power usage, to, you name it. So that was the state of Kansas. So my goal was to pull information from as many different resources as possible to try to study this issue and think through it as hard as possible. And for you to do the same. You're citizens and I'm a citizen just the same. And my job is to educate the board and hopefully educate our citizens as well. Our board is committed to transparency. I think that they keep saying that. It's being open and honest as possible. I use the term truth plus transparency, hopefully equals trust. getting trust in the public sector is very challenging, but we're doing the best we can. I will reinforce this. We have said it before. We will say it again. There are no known data center projects in our county that we're aware of. We currently continue to get FOIA'd and requests. I see posts online. I'm not a social media guy. I see a lot of posts online. They're just not accurate. But that's just the way life is sometimes. We have to talk. From my end, we have to talk in comparatives. We have to talk good and bad. We can't talk in superlatives, is what I would say. There are some significant values in data centers for our community. Even though there's no known data centers, there are significant values for data centers in our community. Will we ever get approached? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. But I have visited Mecklenburg County's data center. That is a town of about 30,000 people. I don't know if you understand how our revenue sources look like. Right now, there's two revenue sources. It's your property tax and your real estate tax. It's really the revenue sources that we have that this board can control. If you add in our budget meetings, you'll see other revenue sources like that come in from the state, increasing costs. So for us, just that's what you want us to do. Mecklenburg County, they have a current tax rate of 30 cents. I visited that data center. They built a brand new school there, $127 million, paid cash for a brand new school. They've rebuilt all their schools. They're building parks and things like that there. So there is significant that can come from there. Are there challenges? For sure, there are challenges. Are there concerns? For sure, there are concerns. Certainly power. A lot of people talked about the power. What I would say about the powers is that every county around us is being approached with data centers right now. Every county around us is being approached with data centers. And so if you think about a power in that grid, right? And so as one, another one, a second one was announced, right? In other areas. If you think about how that power works, we don't get charged county by county for power. Does that make sense? AP charges are regional power. So if somebody, whatever, north of us, south of us, east, west of us is using more power, we will all be paying for that power regardless. And we can only really control our county. Something just to think about is all I would say. I would say water usage is the same way. I did talk to AP about the power. I asked them, I said, is there any chance that we have enough power, we have transmission lines that could support a data center? They said, absolutely not. It's not even close. Not even close. What's that?
Isn't that one of the reasons new power lines and for future?
No. You're actually going to see more power lines going up in Freeze here coming up. They've asked for a grant because they want redundancy. They don't have redundancy coming from Freeze. You're going to see more power lines coming from Freeze. Morgan Griffin's office called me this week about it. Hey, would we support that extra line so they can have redundant power? My answer is yes to that. I would support that. There's no easements involved, but people see that and they go, oh, that's a data center. It's just not accurate. It's just not something that's taking place right now. I did speak to HP, talked to multiple people, just asking, hey, what would it look like? Tons of investment would have to take. Tons. We're talking about millions of dollars of investment would have to take place in Grayson County that like this. So, the state's made some decisions this year. You're going to see if the state's made some decisions on, to reduce incentives. So now you'll see more power being pushed probably to West Virginia, which could affect us as well. It could affect us as well. So what we're saying, if we say this, we say, hey, we don't want to be a part of this, which is fine. It's not, we don't have it. We're saying don't be a part of this. We're still effectively going to pay for power increases unless something changes at state or federal level. It's just kind of the way it is. Just something to think about. Water usage, I would say the same thing. These data centers, if you look at the one at Botetourt, anywhere from 2 million to 8 million gallons. That's a significant amount of water. I think Justine talked about the closed loop system, which is what most of them are, 25,000 gallons, which is like an office building. It's not a significant. Think of Virginia Carolina Water Authority, which serves independents in Florida. They have authority to get about 1 million gallons of water right now. And they're pushing it. They're taking in about 630 just from independents as far as. So you would have the water capacity, but you don't have the power capacity. Same thing I would say about the water. Everybody knows how the New River runs. It runs from Blowing Rock through us, through Radford, all the way up to West Virginia, runs into the Golly River. If people are taking water from different places, it's going to affect the river either way. If there's population increases, it's going to affect the river either way. Just stuff to think about. There's a lot of legitimate concerns. People go forth a lot of legitimate concerns. The reason we're trying to push as much information on our website so you can think about it just like I can think about it. Doug and I can beat each other up about what's right and wrong and how, and have these good discussions. I just would say, hey, think about it from a regional perspective. What water looks like regionally, what power looks like regionally, and how that affects us. Land use obviously is another consideration. They sometimes take large parcels of land, and that can change what a community looks like. Something for us to think about, right? We talked about employment. There certainly is significant employment on the front end, some sustained employment once it happens, and then kind of construction goes away. But there is significant revenue from these. Environmental impacts, we talked about these quite a bit. Obviously, something we will study: backup generators, volunteers. So then we get to the thing of what is an answer for the county? I don't know that, I don't look at these. I was having this debate with someone the other day, and she said, I've never wanted a data center. I said, well, would you want a factory? She said, yeah, I would. I said, well, what kind? She goes, I don't know. I said, what's going to use water? She goes, I don't know then. So, it's good for us just kind of beat this stuff together and have these discussions together. So I don't say they're good or bad. They're necessary for the modern world. I was in Homeland Security, and we had the mantra of we have to be able to feed, fuel, and fight for ourselves as a country. We have to do. And as a locality, we have to have three things in my mind. We have to have a strong sheriff's office, we have to have strong schools, and we have to have sustained revenue. That third leg is a real challenge for this community. That third leg is a real challenge for our communities. We are an older population that is growing older, and we're not having young people move into our communities. And it's something we desperately need. So I think we just have to ask these thoughtful questions before we approve or deny any projects. How much water? How much electricity? Will the company invest in renewable energy? What are the tax benefits? How many permanent jobs we've created? All those are legitimate questions I think we all should ask. I'm going to say this. Somebody said something about a moratorium. Their board has no authority to authorize a moratorium on data centers, just like they didn't have on Windows. They don't have that authority. The General Assembly is not granted that. This has been litigated extensively by the Virginia Supreme Court, and they cannot take that action. Now, Jada's got some thoughts, and I agree with her thoughts, because neither the comprehensive plan nor the zoning ordinance currently addresses data centers. The county has no adopted policy or development standards specific to this type of use. Rather than evaluating proposals, sir, on a case-by-case basis without guidance, I would recommend to the Board of Supervisors and Planning Commission jointly to discuss the county's vision for data centers, if there is a vision. Additionally, have a professional planning firm available to answer legal questions that may come up. This comes with a financial cost. We don't have these, but I think what we've heard is they want us to prepare for this, and I think I would make that recommendation. The discussion should lead to comprehensive plan amendments, followed by zoning ordinance amendments, establishing where data centers may reside, if appropriate at all. And so, sir, that would be my recommendation for the county.
I don't know that we'd actually have to take a vote or action, and just have to be a general consensus of this board to agree to work with Planning Commission to move forward on your recommendation.
Yes, sir.
Discussion.
We're still in discussion, right?
Yes, sir.
All this stuff that y'all talking about is now, but I'm of the age that I am pre-social media. That takes a little bit. And the point I'm trying to make in the first 200 years of this country, our technology moved at a snail's pace. 50 years ago, we started getting computers. I can remember typing on a computer sitting on my desk in college. Now I can do everything I've done on that computer, plus a whole lot more on a cell phone. So my question to look at is when is that data center going to be obsolete or replaced by a little bitty chip?
Yes.
All the concerns that were brought up tonight, I agree with, We need to look at that, but my biggest concern is in 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, that thing won't be obsolete. So there we are again. Talking about other industries that use what we have in this county. Files, for example, pallets. We have the wood working up here. Wood byproducts, agricultural products, agricultural byproducts. Something we need to look at. And kudos to Pluck in Carroll County, which we're involved in, is raising tomatoes. So there again, something like that versus a data center.
Yes.
All right, so
That's my question. 10 years, where we gonna be with this data center?
I don't think any of us know that. It's, it is, Matt, it is amazing how things evolve and, as far as the information, but our comprehensive plan is kind of like a living document that, we can change, add amendments as these issues arise. So I think that's the number one problem before the board is to try to evolve with the technology and what we see as potential issues, try to get ahead kind of like we did on the windmills and the solar fields. So if it is the general consensus of the board to move forward, to have planning commission work with us and start developing language, then I think we need to get on it.
I agree. 110%.
So that being I'll just do that the general consensus of this board.
Do you need a motion?
I don't think so.
What is the direction that we are giving to the planning commission exactly?
That's the work.
That's the work.
That's the work group. That's what we'll be doing. What kind of restrictions? What kind of
Ordinances
yeah.
to govern the possibility of data center coming to Grayson County, right? Is that what we?
Yeah,
I think what you're looking at.
I think we have to.
I think in all reality, the Board of Supervisors needs to discuss with the Planning Commission your vision. And that'll just be a work group session that everyone can have a roundtable meeting. And it would be open to the general public as conversations are being had. Eventually, you would come up with policy and then language for the zoning ordinance. Because policy is what drives, and regulation is what is legal.
Okay. So it is the general consensus of this board to move forward.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Get the ball rolling then.
When can we expect to start these work sessions?
Yes.
Great. We'll send some dates this time.
Can y'all mail out notices on that instead of placing it on the internet for those people that don't have internet access, so that all the public is aware?
Are you asking to put it in the paper or something?
Some people don't even get newspapers. Put a flyer in everybody's mailbox, so everybody that lives in Grayson is aware of what's going on.
Yeah. We were talking about transparency. I mean, transparency.
Less than data centers. I know it costs less than data center. You know about it.
We'll look at it. We'll see.
I checked into the cost.
Okay.
We'll live on it.
Right.
Yes. That moves us on to county administrator's report.
Yeah, the Parks and Rec Party put out a pretty nice event on July 3rd. I think we estimated 20,000, 1,500 people showed up for the July celebration. Cunningham was there. Betsy, I saw Betsy there. It was a respectful event. Comments good? Okay, all right. Mr. Cunningham and I went to look at Lost Road 2 weeks ago, I think. We drove the entire section. We estimated we're about 2 miles.
2 miles,
About
yes.
10 to 12 houses on that road.
12, I think,
12
yes.
houses. Okay.
Did you find the information that I requested? Did not. Did not find anything that you mentioned in any.
I don't have any.
I can't figure out why that was proposed before. And, if the board made
It
this.
was proposed though, and then it fell through, or got lost,
I don't
or.
know.
I don't know.
It was mentioned of, we found mention of it in a meeting, but we don't know that it was ever.
Okay. Okay.
Mr. Hatch and I took a tour of Plucked, which is part of our economic development, Wildwood Park. Mr. Hatch, any comments on that?
Pretty impressive. I think they've started to use, I think, Food City. You can see some of the products in Food City, and also he informed us they've got a contract with Harris Teeter. So there's I think they're producing over 500,000 pounds of tomatoes per day. So that's a lot. And when most of the tomatoes and things that are coming into our markets were coming out of Mexico, and they're holding customs, or waiting to be sent in the United States. And this is a product that's coming straight. They can have fresh tomatoes in Washington, D.C. overnight. So pretty impressive operation. They're seeking desperately workers. So, I mean, as far as our jobs, there's a job market there for them with good benefits. A young lady come and spoke to the group and talked to us about some of the benefits. I know part of their plans is to put an on-site daycare for workers. So, development. They're also in process of developing 2 more greenhouses. So, pretty impressive. And I know we've waited a long time to locate something in Wildwood. It's been about a 15-year wait, but I think it's a good fit. One thing I liked about it was, our local farmers can't grow anything other than, possibly the 3, 4, maybe 3 months out of the year, as far as tomato crops. But, this doesn't really impact them because they're wanting, something there to impact them through the winter months and stuff. And so, but it is something that I think, is a good asset for the locality.
Yeah, fantastic. The biggest issue they have, they can't get people working. And they have, about 27 days off. They have, flexibility with shifts, all kinds of stuff. So anyway, so that was good. We hosted Senator Warner on June 30th at the Gate Center. He talked a bit about the potential farm bill along with SNAP benefits. There, anything else on that, Mr. Cunningham, that you want to mention? Numerous complaints about how bad the cell coverage now has become since T-Mobile took over. Tom and I met with our contacts at Cellular and trying to work with T-Mobile. They're a lot larger corporations, so getting to the right person is a challenge for us. But we've sent multiple emails. They are slower to act, I would say, USA, but we're trying to work diligently to try to improve cell service. And we stopped by and talked to a young couple that purchased Sarah's restaurant there. And he went to App State. She went to Yancey, North Carolina. And they should have a restaurant, diner kind of opened up in the county in the next couple of months. Yeah. Okay, that's all I got, sir.
Okay. Just informational items, and then no one's requested Board of Supervisors times. So at this time, we will go into closed session to enter into closed session for discussion related to prospective business or industry or the expansion on existing business or industry pursuant to 3.2-3711A5 of the Code of Virginia. And before going into close, have a motion to go into closed session.
Can we have a motion for a break first?
I'm gonna work that in. You give me my motion, and we'll get this going.
So moved.
All right, do I have a second? All in favor, signify by saying aye. So prior to closed session, we will have a 10-minute recess.